Alright, and I have to make sure that we are not muterated because that will absolutely happen. Alright, hello everybody. Welcome. I hope everybody is having a good evening, good afternoon, whatever time frame. Yes, this is an interview with a husky. My name is Rose. We are doing another episode of the Eve Interviews. This is a history podcast. Now, today, you guys are going to be like, why the hell is Rose talking to a husky? Right? Why is Rose talking to a husky? Well, that husky is Randunip, and he is part of Echelon Research. I will let him introduce himself.
Hey guys, afternoon, morning, or evening, depending on which time zone you are. I'm Randunip and one of the directors of Echelon Research.
Awesome. I'm really excited. I have been trying to talk to a lot of the corps that I reached out to a lot in Goonswarm. But we've been working through Sigma, Shadow, and we're finally getting to some of the fun ones in Goons, and I'm really excited about this. No, that is not how a husky talks, Faz Gamer. Huskies are good dogs, though.
But huskies are intelligent. They could.
Yeah, they probably could. Look, I have a Malinois that talks.
People just don't listen hard enough.
Yeah, you gotta understand the woo woos and the head bobs and all of that. It's a whole process. It comes with it's a whole process. But I think we have some things a little more important to talk about. Now I know our love of dogs is a shared concept. I know goons are very much cat people, but some of us like dogs too. But let's shift our focus to Echelon Research. How was that corp name thought up, and where did it originate from?
So this is going to be a bit of a short answer. I'm not going to lie. I had to go back to the previous corp CEO and inquire about this. And from my understanding, the corp was originally created back when, obviously it was in 2012. It's quite an old corp, and I'm not sure if. Well, I assume quite a few people will remember, but back then you used to have the business of people creating and selling corporations because of the skills required to, be able to run an alliance and all that sort of thing. They were expensive and they were time consuming, and essentially it was just really difficult for people because I don't know if it was the case back then, but you used to have a skill like specifically for Caldari and for Minmatar and to be able to have like cross race in your corporation. It was a very bizarre setup of skills back then. Yeah. So when you wanted a corporation, you used to pay somebody who had trained these skills, and they would either create a corp under the name you wanted, or they would have a bunch of corps already like created, ready to go. Because I think there was some other mechanics around them that made it difficult to kind of have multiples. Obviously, alts were a thing back then, but not in the way they are, I think, today. So they'd have like 3 or 4 alts, 3 or 4 corps. Long story short, the corp was created via one of those services. So to the previous CEO Philip's knowledge, that's how the name came about. It was just a random name picked out of a hat.
I kind of love it. Like,
it works, right?
I didn't know that was a thing. And knowing that you could do this and then go, oh, here's a corp. Like, that's awesome.
Oh yeah,
What?
creating corps was easy back then, but like getting the skills to actually run a successful corp, you know, because you needed different skills for the membership. Like I think it was one level for 10 members, and then it was like another level for something else. Similar to how like the old fleet skills I think worked, where you had restricted on how many people you could have.
Oh wow.
So
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
this is
it
all
was a
before my
whole
time.
different. Yeah, it was a whole different kettle of fish because I started in 2009, and that was like really kind of like it wasn't quite old school Eve, but it was old enough, you know.
Yeah,
So
totally
yeah,
makes sense.
that's what
I'm
happened with the name. Yeah.
adjusting my microphone here for a second. Uh, but yeah, that is absolutely awesome, and I love the fact that it's comes from an old school mechanic, and I don't know. The logo looks awesome. I love it. I love that is probably that's the only one that I think so far we have had made like that. So that's pretty awesome. I'm a fan.
It works. We all like it. It's nice. It's simplistic. It's recognizable.
Absolutely true, and it definitely is. Whenever you see that little logo on and the name, you know who they're flying with. So now that we have this really, honestly, probably one of the more interesting ways of how we have heard a corp be made and I guess transferred. Oh, we'll call it that. Can you tell me once you guys got the corp, how and where Echelon Research kind of started and some of the history of the corp?
So the basic history, sort of pre 2015, is kind of lost to myth and legend. The original cast and crew back then have all pretty much left, and I don't actually
Yep.
think there is any, as far as I'm aware, any original members from the very early days. Uh, Back sort of between 2015, 2016, the corp was a very just your small kind of like average newbie corp, from what I understand. Um, they and then this is just going off of the corp information for like the few years that I wasn't around.
Yeah.
So they were in a alliance, or sorry, an alliance called Entro Praetorian Aegis for a short period of time,
Yep.
around 2012 to 2013. They then moved into just being a plain corp for a couple of years, and then in 2015 they joined an alliance called Diplomatic Immunity for less than a month, and then went into bizarrely Shadow of Death afterward, as you do, you know, so it's a straight step forward, and we're in there for just over a month, and then shortly after that joined Space Monkeys Alliance. Now I believe around that time it was just at the end of one of the wars with the Imperium, or not with the Imperium and against them, but you know, fighting alongside goons. Um, I can't remember exactly which region they were getting kicked out of, because we essentially ended up in or space in 4C for a brief period of time. And then we ended up moving into the Volition cult. So this was around the time I joined, very at the very end of Space Monkeys, into when we joined Volt. And at the time, Volt had moved into the region next to Providence, and we were kind of like buddies with CVA at that point. I'm just going to pull up Dotland because the region we lived in has completely eluded me. Where is it? It would have been Catch, I believe. Which is ironic considering where we moved out from and where we sort of live with our friends now. So we joined Volt, and we were still a relatively small corp. I think it was maybe 20 or 30 sort of active people.
Give me 1 second. Are you able to hear me?
But being so close to Providence and CVA, obviously we were allied with them to a degree, so they had their kill on sight. So fights were a little bit slim. I was sort of FCing around in the corp at the time, and the current CEO then was Philip Shazi. He still floats around even to this day in Echelon. He's currently AFK at the moment, but he still pops in and now and again. So with Vault was an interesting time for us. We'd obviously just around the time the structures started coming out, the Upwell structures. So one of the first kind of things we did as a corp that at the time we considered to be huge was build an Astra house, and we thought that was an amazing achievement back then. I mean, that just to give you some context into how things are today. With all the the plentifulness of goons, as it were. Back then, we were living in poses, for a large part, or the NPC station, which was still a thing at that time back in Nullsec. And yeah, we kind of just chilled out and sort of fought around with Vault for a bit. At one point, near the end of our stay with Volition Cult. Sorry, I just got a message from Rose. So yeah, near the end of Volition Cult, Volt ended up resetting CVA and went neutral. So we didn't have any apps, etc.
That'll work.
And as a kind of I got bored once we found out that we could shoot everybody, and when it took a few guys out, and incidentally got Vault setting outside with obviously we were totally fine to do that. It didn't matter. But that sort of in some one form or another kind of ended our stay with them, because then obviously CVA started coming in and shooting us, and we had a load of PvP, and that was that pretty much. And I can't remember exactly what led to us joining Goonswarm, which was in 2016 in October. So actually coming up to 9 years about 6 days ago. So yeah, this is pretty close to our anniversary. I just realised that. Philip at the time had decided he had a couple of options, from what I remember, and we'd had a little bit of a chat about it through the kind of the active people, and had gone with Goonswarm, and we have been with Goons ever since.
That is absolutely awesome. I love hearing the stories of how people came to the Goonland. Is that what we call it? Is that what we should be calling it? The Goonland?
The land of Goon.
The land of Goon. The land of Gooning. No. Okay, too far. Bad joke, Rose. Bad joke. Okay. as I am making bad jokes here. So that kind of does a really, really good job into leading us into question 3. I had a little bit of technical difficulties during that, so we're doing a little bit of a workaround where I don't have my headphones on because my headphones died. Whatever that means.
That would explain it. Then I was like, oh no, wait.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything, so my headphones just kind of put it out on me, and that is a problem that I will solve after this. Also known as not a problem right now, not a solvable problem right now. It's gonna be great. So that kind of with the joining into Goon, that kind of leads into my third question, which is rather, why was the Imperium a good choice for Echelon Research to join into?
That's a good question, actually. I can't speak for everybody else's sort of vision that they had at the time. But I think from my perspective, I think that was around the time everybody was kind of like, oh, it's big bad goons, and and I remember having a conversation at the time, and it was sort of like, well, they're just playing the game. They don't actually sound like bad people. Um, they've got all this space. There's a lot. It sort of looked like the land of opportunity. It was like, look at all this, quote unquote safe space we could fly around in Null and kind of, maybe have a little bit more of a permanent home. Because that was something Volt and at the time Smar didn't have, is sort of a permanent home, a permanent structure, some sort of facilities and things like that. Because at the time all the guys wanted to do stuff, but we were kind of hemmed in by either living in an NPC station or being in what was a relatively small alliance that kind of was beset on all sides. So it was nice to have a bit of breathing space, and Goon sounded like a lot of fun. I'm presuming Phil probably felt the same way and was like, hey, look, they look great. They've been around for ages. They've got a really rich history. They beat up Bob. Nobody likes Bob. And, you know, kind of went with that, I think.
Yeah. That makes total sense in the era of. Well, okay, I guess I should ask. Bob was around during that time, right? Because
I think Band of Brothers I can't remember the exact history around it. They disbanded or been disbanded forcibly by other means.
Okay.
And then they went to IT Alliance, and then I think their last iteration was Kenzoku.
Okay, yeah.
And then they just sort of fizzled out and disappeared.
Yeah, so this is still like. Okay, yeah, so this makes sense. Understandable.
I think,
like, Bob, there was the War of Bob, right? And yeah, that makes sense.
well, that's how I originally found out about Goons was the whole Bob War being reported, and the sort of the history behind that, and then you had things like BTAC-R and
that massive unit of a fight, yeah.
yeah, so like BTAC-R had happened obviously prior to us joining by a couple of years, but it was you see stuff like that back when Eve was kind of like arguably in its heyday, when you had like really high player numbers and there was fights going on everywhere, and seeing that kind of stuff, and that back then those things made it into gaming news all over. So you would see that pinged up on YouTube or on the gaming forums and stuff.
There's even some of the old game reporter websites that have them up too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like you can still go up looking. If you look at BTAC-R fight, which I'll do right now.
There's a Wikipedia for it.
Yeah, like there's. Oh god, Battle of BTAC-R is literally a wiki page. Like
It has its own wiki page, and it's all of the I presumably correct historical accuracy is there, but
I have no idea.
yeah, but like seeing stuff like that, you're like, oh man, I want to be in. Like, how do I get into those fights? And I think when you're playing a space game as a space game loving nerd, what do you want to do the most? Probably get in the big fights with the big ships and blow things up.
I mean, having a little bit of a smackdown's fun. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, if somebody's going to punch down on you or you're going to punch up, it works either way. A fight's a fight, and that was one of the coolest fights to kind of read up on before even sort of being in the alliance and just being like, oh man, that looks awesome. Like,
yeah. So if you look at the wiki page, you can see that it even made a Fairfax, New Zealand website. It made PC Gamer, The Verge, Polygon, PC Gamer.
well, just look at the references list; it's massive.
There's 33 references for this, even as far as like the Guinness World Records, the archaeology of ancient historical video games. Like that's in there. It's just so it's like it's making history archives at this point. Still, after after being almost, what are we, 11 years? Roughly?
2014, wasn't it?
Yeah, roughly.
Need to scroll back up.
We're like 11 and a half years, roughly.
Yeah.
Again, keep in mind I'm very much being rough here on dates because I'm trying to do math. I can't math, so woo. So yeah, that is absolutely. There's even a BBC article too. Okay, yeah. So like these fights are huge, and I love when people go, I want to be part of that thing. Like that's a badass thing. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think that definitely helps sway people to joining certain groups.
And I really, personally, I look forward to maybe. I don't know if Evil ever have one to that caliber again. However, if it ever did come about,
I mean, we kind of did. M2 TAC,
yeah.
our corpse old home system.
Still, okay. So keep in mind, I've been playing for a year and maybe a half. I am I am brand spanking new to this game in a sense, and it is as a new player you hear all these battles of old and you're like, God damn it, I want to do something fun like that, you know? And I wonder, I don't know if we will ever see to that caliber. Even in the 2020, we'll call it World War B2. Is that what it's called? Or
Yeah. I think the Titan massacre of M2 was
yeah,
probably one of. I mean, and until they fix pyrite prices, cough cough. You know,
yeah,
maybe not. But dread fights still happen, and you know,
they do.
it sometimes it just takes a little match to spark a a drop. I mean, BTACR was a great example of exactly that. So
Yeah, so
stranger things have happened.
stranger things have happened, and we'll see what history comes about in the future. When we get there, we're not there yet. We're in current day. Current day is in like today.
I mean, if they want to start today, we're ready.
I'm not gonna be so how is this ballsy as to make such a statement, but I will let the people who know more than I make such statements. But let's turn back to Echelon Research for a moment. Well, I know we're having a good time talking history, but I want to talk a little bit about the corp itself, as in like what are some of the awesome things that it does for its members. And I know on your Eve description, it kind of I have to ask because I was looking at it and I was like, I can't tell if they're recruiting or not. So I have to ask, are you recruiting?
Yes, we actually just reopened recruiting. Funnily enough, we gave the guys a well-deserved few-week break. The recruitment team we have is absolutely fantastic. We've actually just had one of the new recruits who have joined is currently training up with our kind of recruiting master to kind of help us with the Corp's new sort of joiners experience as a new joiner themselves. I can say that as much as I hate him already, Raz has been a great addition to the Corp, and you know the recruitment team are an absolutely fantastic asset that we have. They're really thorough with their checks. They go well above and beyond, and they do recruit some really great people.
So you had me laughing there. As much as you hate him already.
It's you know when you meet those kind of people who just kind of slot into the group like instantly, and you know they just kind of like they've been there 5 minutes, but it feels like they've been there for years.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I think he's kind of one of those people. He's just really easy to get along with, and yeah, as you know, I can't say too many nice things about him.
Oh, he might get a little bit of a big ego there if you do that. He might.
It's fine. I enjoy putting him down.
might go to his head, but it's all right. So
Yeah.
you guys, we've established that you are recruiting. Can you the first part of the question, can you talk about some of the awesome stuff that Echelon Research does for its members?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's an interesting question because obviously, I presume the vast majority of corps are probably along the same lines. We all provide industry structures and things like that. So I don't want to be like, oh yeah, we do this, this, and this, but sort of like not elaborate. So
Yeah.
the first thing we tend to provide is obviously all of the industry structures from Sotios, to Tataras for reactions refining. So we have a really solid and kind of always have done ever since Delve when we moved there. Always aim to have a solid industrial base for our members. We were initially, and probably still kind of are, a bit of an industry corp. But as we sort of like delved past that and generated, obviously income and started building things up, we try to aim to ensure we always have structures available to our members at, good rates so they can prosper. Because ultimately the corp is there to ensure they have the tools to play the game and enjoy the game and not be something like a burden on their shoulders.
Absolutely.
We do provide Corp SRP on top of the Alliance's SRP as well, as you can see on the thing. And I work really hard to make sure we don't run out of money so we can keep replacing DeGaver's bloody ships.
Yeah.
We've got a really good
Keep your neighbors
community.
happy.
There's a very, very varied time zone, kind of like, so it's never really quiet in our Discord because we have people who are in AUTZ, in EUTZ, in USTZ. So it kind of just, there isn't really a time of day where there isn't somebody available to like have a natter, or even for being what is relatively a small kind of core group in comparison to some of like the much larger corporations. We are really active as a group as a whole across the whole spectrum of time zones, which I think is quite rare in a lot of places because you do get heavy EU, and I would say we're probably heavier EU US, but we've also got a really good AU TZ as well, so we kind of like cover all areas.
Yeah, I think I only know of, and I want to say this hesitantly, I think I only know of one other corporation that has such a wide time. Okay, I take that back. Two other corporations, because I have to include WAPA in this. Two other corporations that I can think of.
You're just going to keep adding one on.
Well, I can only think of two, and I know people in both, and I know their time zones. So off the tip off my head, I can only think of two. Two other groups that have basically the Discord does not stop. It is constant. Oh, hello there. Like everybody is always talking, and there's always somebody online to be able to go, oh, hey, you want to do XYZ, or you want to do, or just talk, just talk and hang out in general. So I love, because that's not as common as a lot of people think. So I absolutely love knowing, hey, there's another group to go, oh, hi, friend. And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, also known as AUTZ for anybody who's in the US. It's awesome to have groups that are just always having the availability to do random stuff.
Yeah, and I think there's been plenty of occasions where I've gone to bed talking to the same person and woken up and they're still around, and you have that kind of overlap, and it's nice because you just never feel like it's dead, and that sort of like creates that kind of like round effect where everybody's still talking to each other and conversations will span days, and yeah, it's just a nice community.
Yeah,
and Echre has always been a nice place to be honest. And I'm not blowing smoke up our own proverbial ass here, but ever since I joined, it's just a lowly noob. For the last 10 years, I don't think even time has changed fundamentally how we operate, how we think, and sort of the community that we have.
See, anytime I pass any of your people in space, they're nice. It's you can wave at people. They're really nice. Nobody's like a dick. for lack of better words, like, and I don't nearly. I haven't interacted with many, but the ones that I've interacted with in Echelon Research have always been really nice and really chill, and it speaks to you guys having a strong community and building a community where you can just wave at people in local.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody's kind of like they do their own thing, but we sort of try and silently promote just be nice, just be chill. That's it. We're playing a game. Have fun. If you're not having fun, take a break.
Yeah, if you're not having fun, go get a shake, go get a hamburger, go get some food. That might be a problem, or part of
Yeah,
the problem.
and I can't remember an occurrence of anything sort of more serious than a little slap on the wrist of like, you probably shouldn't do that. Nobody goes out and intentionally mucks with stuff, and yeah, that just as much as like they all annoy each other because it's funny, they are just a good bunch of people.
That's what goons do. If we're not making fun of each other or poking fun at each other or giving each other shit, like that's how goons show their affection. I've noticed.
I show my affection by stopping reps. I
Stopping
don't.
rep.
I do stop and reps. Yeah, when you're flying Logi, it's like, you're cool. Have no reps, thank you. So yeah, if you see me flying a basilisk,
Oh god.
just call me names and then you'll get reps. It's fine.
It's fine. As a perpetual Logi anchor, I will happily call you names and tell you, rep, bitch, rep.
I just overheat my reps burner and be like, I tried my best to save him. That's all I could do. So just to add on to the other things we do sort of provide, because I'm trying to like rack my brain, like because it's all those kind of little things that you don't really think much of, but I think the members themselves get a lot of benefit from. We have our own court buyback, which
Nice.
we bought back in around the time when I got kind of shoved back into the director role again, or coaxed. We'll say we'll go with coaxed. We built a keepstar
Yeah.
because we'd wanted one, so that was a corp effort. So that was all of the members donating, whether that be ISK or minerals or time, or ore, or or whatever they had available to kind of like get it built. The corp obviously donated as well, and we bought our built our third keepstar.
Oh wow.
The first one died. That was KVN back when we were in Delvin Fountain. So yeah, no, it was that's a really good achievement. Like if we're talking corp achievements, just as a whole, like that is one that a lot of the members got behind, and we solely relied on them for the most part. It was like, if you want it, you all help us build it, and I think that kind of like shows or highlights the community and the want to contribute to those kind of bigger goals, especially at a corporate level. And I think it's a good mindset for everybody to have, and it's fun. We had some competitions as well around it. Like top donators won a prize. There is a competition I actually keep forgetting to finalize, which is the skin. So I need to remind myself to do that sometime this weekend. And then give the person their prize, because I haven't done that yet. Director things and all that.
It happens.
Yeah, we try to arrange like fleets, gate camps. If we've got some spare dreads, we'll go hot drop somebody, go sit on a gate, horde dread it, whatever. We try and provide a steady supply, not an infinite supply, a steady supply of ships that people can just grab, fit how they want, go have fun. Claim SRP afterwards, perfect. So
that's the fun part.
Yeah, and I think, and I'm pretty sure Delta and the others would agree with me, but I think Echre kind of like focuses for the majority on the members. We're here to provide, like I said, to provide them with the tools to have fun in the game. From a corp level, Alliance stuff. Alliance has their fleets and the strat ops and the peace times. But for general membership stuff and general corporate stuff, if the guys just want to go out and have like a 2-3 man gate camp, or they want to go and jump to use the I can't remember what they're called now. It always flips out of my mind. The things they activate and then they go through the tunnel. I can't remember what they're called.
Oh, sino ships or no, demon?
No, the filaments.
So, yes, those things. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I was
Yeah,
like,
sorry. one of the core pieces watching at the moment and just DM'd me on Discord what it was. So thank you, gaming. Appreciate that.
hey, I'm glad that because when you say tunnel thingy, do you know how many things it applies to in Eve?
I know, but there wasn't really a way to. If I'd said gate, that would have been worse.
It really would have.
Because it could have been abyssals, it could have been jump gates, sino gates.
Even with tunnel, you have to go into an abyssal through a tunnel, right?
Yeah, that's fair point. Fair point.
And then if you said gate, it could be a sino thing, right? Where like you jump with. I'm just glad that somebody was able to put together what we were both thinking, or what you were trying to say, and what I was trying to comprehend.
This is why we need supervision, see? And do you know what's really, we've got to be very careful as well that somebody doesn't say jump and gate in the same sentence and somebody watching is on a fleet, because we have enough lemmings.
Oh my god.
We don't want to encourage it.
Yeah, I have made. There have been several times where I'm just like, wait, I'm unsupervised here. What? So having somebody else have the brain cell and being able to use it is great. This is a running joke. Orange cats have no brain cells. There are 2 orange cats in my house. I am also a ginger. Ergo, I don't always have the brain cell. Sometimes one of my orange cats does, and they will sit here while I'm doing things on fleet, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And they're just like, meow. Like, oh, I know what I'm doing, let me at it. So, supervision, that's the thing.
Just share the brain cell, it's fine.
If only it were that easy to take it from them. You know how to get it back? You give cats catnip. And then they don't have the brain cell.
Did you know there was? I had a conversation with Alistair, one of our corpies and a long-time friend of mine, about dog nip, which apparently is a thing.
It is.
And I've had dogs for 20 years, and I did not know this. Catnip apparently kind of works on them sometimes, but generally, apparently, it doesn't really do anything. But yeah, there's a dog nip alternative or something.
See, I might have to look into that because my Malinois, she likes catnip.
Oh, interesting.
And if you take a pinch, you can literally put it in her mouth and she'll eat it. And then she just like flops on the floor and is happy as a clam. It's like, okay, great.
Dog's got the cat high.
So yeah, I keep catnip on my desk for the cats because sometimes the oranges decide to be desk cats, and I have to get them off of the desk somehow, or off the keyboard and away from the singular screen that Eva's on, so I can do my job, and that way they're not turning off my computer and going, "Mom, bedtime, fuck you," turn it off, and yeah. Orange cats, they are demanding.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I love animals, but I'm definitely more of a dog than a cat person in terms of ownership.
Yeah, I have both, and I have. Look, I asked for a second dog, and I got told no.
But that's where you just go and get a second job. It's better to ask forgiveness than permission.
This is true, but as somebody, I can't drive because of seizures, and I was like, well, if I show up with another dog, he's going to be like, Rose, what the hell did you do? And the one dog that we have is already, she is, how do I say this nicely? A jealous hoe bag. She is dad's dog unless she barks. And that is for Cuddle Buddy at night. So she's a fully trained service dog. I think we might talk about this a little bit, but she does full pressure. She does, and when somebody's in pain, it is okay. You get pressure cuddles and like to help you feel better. And she would be so jealous if we got a puppy. So that's why we got a kitten. And he's adorable. It's great. But now it's just double the orange cat dogness, and it's great. They're cat dogs. You ever want an animal to follow you to a toilet? Get a cat dog. Get an orange. They will follow you.
Yeah, mine's learnt to just wait outside the door, because then when I come out, she generally gets a treat, because I'm soft.
See, if I don't close the door, people follow me, and I'm just like, go away. Let me have space. Leave me alone.
Mine's having a grump on at the moment. She's downstairs still. I'm actually surprised she stayed down there that long, to be honest.
Oh my goodness, she's having a grumpy moment. Okay. Well,
Yep. She's like, nope, you're busy. I'm going to go and sit downstairs and eat my teddy bear. She will just sit there with the teddy bear in her mouth and just close her eyes and look in absolute peace.
Oh, baby. Okay.
But what I've just sent you a one of our guys was trying to get a AI designed recruitment picture, and we have a long-standing joke in the corp about everything gets like rewritten by Greg, one of our mining FCs, into caveman. So occasionally he will take a horde ping, or he will take something one of our stuff have said in corp, and he will get it rewritten into caveman speak. And it has been hilarious, and ergo, this is where that photo has come from.
Oh my god!
About Big
guy.
Rock Smash.
I know. Yes, I know who this is. Okay, I love the fact that he does this, because it's great. Because I love it. It's amazing.
It's fantastic.
I lose my shit when I see these, because it's like, that is funny as fuck, and I love it.
It was great. He brought a selection out, and we just remember looking through them, and it was absolutely fantastic. I wish we could have it in game as like our corp logo.
That would be,
because if we were ever going to replace it, that would be it.
That would be great. Try me, you help smash Big Rock, fly Big Bird in sky.
Yeah, getting it to like print the raw call was difficult, but he got it, and it was just perfect. And one of the other directors, the one with the goggles, that's Dusty, who we decided was on the left there.
Oh god, so each of us is a director. That's great. That's horrible, but it's great. I love it.
He's kind of like the intelligent one out of the both of us. He deals with all our little like technical problems, and so he's the one we turn to when things break, which happens not very often.
That almost makes sense then. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's endearing,
Pieces, like it makes sense.
Yeah. Some of the other ones were not quite as flattering, because it was a crazy like. Doc Brown kind of style, like mad scientist with blueprints in his hand for what we presume was a Leviathan, but it looks a bit of a bizarre Leviathan.
I love it. It's awesome. Oh god.
It's one of the better things to come out of AI. I can agree with that.
This is fair. Alright, so we've gone through all of the questions that I have. Is there, and we've talked about our fur babies, is there anything else about Echelon Research other than you guys are awesome and how you guys have a really cool history? You guys it seems like you guys do a lot for your new recruits. You guys have SRP. You guys have been through a lot. Is there anything else that needs to be said about echelon research?
Just Delta, please don't ever step down as CEO. Thank you. And we, so I recruited a guy back a long time ago called Pope Joy, and we have a hate relationship with each other. I don't think we have ever said a nice thing to each other. It's great. We are good friends, but just Pope, fuck you. That's all I've got to say. Just so it's kept on record
Okay,
somewhere.
I will
That's
say,
not our Discord.
I know who Pope Joy is.
Makes it even better.
And I don't. Okay, I have to hold on. Let me make sure. Did I? Yeah. Oh, hold on. I gotta actually like look. I remember the name. I have waved at them. Oh yeah, I made his Kronos skin.
Yep, that's it.
I made several of his skins. That's how I know who Popejoy is. Okay,
Yeah.
Popejoy.
If you go
Awesome
through
already.
the history of like our Discord channels, it's generally Pope coming in just going "fuck you, Rand," and then maybe a couple of days later, I just ping him and be like "fuck you," and that's it. Like occasionally we'll speak like properly, but for the most part, we have like 20 seconds of abuse, and then we move on.
Hey, I think that's very common in a lot of Goon Corps is to, that's how you make friends. You just tell each other to go fuck off or fuck you, and you make friends, right? Like, that's a
People know when you're like being an asshole and when you're just being a goon.
Exactly. There is a very strong difference there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Assholes are in Pandemic Horde. No, they give us a lot of good fights, but to be honest, it's surprising really because the vast majority of people that fly through Goon Space, if I'm in local and I recognize somebody from a different alliance, I'll wave to them, I'll wave to people in Goons, and say hello. And generally speaking, I'm not the most for being sociable, but I think it kind of like it's something that happens quite often in Echre. We'll maybe say hello to somebody in local, and just be like, "Oh, we haven't seen you around for ages," and then we'll just pass through the systems, and people like to chat and poke fun at people, ask how they've been, kind of regardless of what kind of like creed they kind of fly from. And yeah, it's a great corp. I just want I think if I have anything else to say, it's just keep being the same people you are, and our recruitment team still keep recruiting the great people you do, and I don't think we can go wrong.
I mean, it sounds good to me. But yeah, if you guys are interested in echelon research, you can see. Wrong direction. Hold on. There we go. Right there. Look. I need left and right tattooed on my thumb, so that's how bad it is. But over here, in this direction, you can see that's their corp. God damn it, I'm doing it again. Corp advert, or the corp page. You can see they've got a Discord. You can pop in there. You can go, hey, hi friends, I'm interested. Do the thing. Talk to them. They're really cool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. People are welcome in the lobby. They can just hang and chat with us. No problem. It's open. Feel free to drop by and say hello. And if we're floating around and you want to pew pew, then let the guys know, and I'm sure somebody will come and join you on a gate.
I mean, I don't think anybody would probably be adverse against 1v1 at the Sun.
No, that's true. Although, please don't 1v1 Greg. He will bring a roll call. He will tackle you.
It's okay. I have 1v1 Soaplev at the Sun, and I won. So, I did not get the. I was not allowed. We didn't pod, but I one of these days I will go. Hey friend, can I get your body? Add it to my box.
Do you know what? My crowning glory was getting Delta's corpse.
See, I have a Sonya corpse. I have a Sema corpse. And God, I have a couple more. But I would like to get I like to get my friends' bodies. and just put them in the box. And I'm like, I'll trade you one of mine.
I think Pope has one of my corpses, unfortunately.
That's fair. All right. So, Mr. Randunip, I thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming and talking about Echelon research. Thank you for coming and talking about the corp that you were part of, and giving us some history lesson, and making us be really excited about flying with our friends.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the time, and yeah, thanks Delta for inviting me for this.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. This stream is gonna close. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go hop on mine. Y'all are welcome to come hop with me. We'll do some giveaways and stuff there. We'll have more We'll have drops. Drops are enabled here. So this time has counted towards your drops for current drops as of October 17th on Twitch. And yeah, I'm just gonna rotate over there, and we'll have some fun, and we're gonna find something to do. But thank you all for coming and hanging out, and we'll see you on the next one. The next interview for history. Ooh, I gotta double check on that, but it might be tomorrow. I just gotta check. Look, my calendar got a little messed up because I thought I had something today, but really, I had something tomorrow, but really it's Sunday, and I'm having to rotate things, so we might have another one tomorrow. No promises. We might have one on Sunday. We'll see. And I'll deal with it later, but we'll figure it out. And fly safe, everybody.